All right. The Helldivers contract. Let's fucking go. This was suggested to me a while ago, and I wanted to do it on that stream before, but I didn't have a chance because I had to run. I had to go. It was I was already behind. It was just real bad. So I'm glad to get to it now. So this is the Helldiver contract of employment democracy, which is obviously taken from like the stele, the kind of rock that's there that you kind of glance up to in the graduation chamber, which you can barely see, right? It's like barely legible. But of course, you people on the internet, you got all the details. So let's read through this and see how ridiculous this Helldivers contract is for all those that are managing democracy. The following contract is made and entered into between the Helldivers Division of Super Earth Armed Forces, hereby referred to as the Enlister, and the individual who successfully completed their preliminary Helldiver training as set forth in Exhibit A of the Super Earth Armed Forces Recruitment and Retention Manual, Part 27B-10264. Hereby referred to as the Enlisted. The following contract is entered into willingly, and the Enlisted confirms they have the authority to enter in such agreement at this time, being of signed, now minded body and legal age and citizenship grade E. Grade E. And above. Wait, what's grade E? What's grade E? Is grade E for everyone? Grade E for Super Earth? What's grade E? I mean, so far this holds up. So the intro clause holds up. Let's go. Services. This is very important, guys. In any contract, make sure you understand the services you're going to be performing. The enlisted shall perform the services outlined in Appendix A in accordance with the operational directives identified by Super Earth High Command, the President of Super Earth, the Democratic Council of Super Earth, accredited employees of the Ministries of Super Earth, accredited representatives of the parties aforementioned in Clause 1.1 I through V, and accredited representatives of those representatives, hereby referred to as the authorized command structure. The authorized command structure may, at any point, without any prior notice, make amendments to the schedule of services outlined in Appendix A. A copy of Appendix A may, if required, be obtained by the enlisted through contacting the relevant authorities in the SE Super Earth AF Armed Forces Administration Corps, with the hard copy of the appendix to be delivered to the requesting enlisted within 5 to 10 business years. I love it. 5 to 10 business years. That's some Kurasanji level stuff right there. The services performed by the enlisted for the enlister shall include, but are not limited to, active combat, which may include, but shall not be limited to, raids, deployments, invasions, sorties, forays, assaults, blitzes, incursions, onslaughts, liberations, raising, flattenings, and nukings. Non-combat, which shall involve parades, interviews, signings, appearances, executions, both summary and otherwise. Very thoughtful. Interplanetary transportation, including escort of civilian or democratic vessels. I love how democratic is like in military vessels, but they're democratic vessels. And any activity deemed necessary in the pursuit of the aims identified by the enlister or the authorized command structure. In order to enable the full and complete enactment, enlisted is authorized to employ lethal force, non-lethal force, non-lethal non-force, lethal non-force to be employed at the discretion of the enlisted. Enlisted may not subcontract in whole or in part any of the duties required of them by the enlister. So see, this is no subcontracting. Guys, never allow subcontracting when you can avoid it. Lethal, non-lethal force. Lethal non-force I have not heard before. That's a new one for me. So that's a new one. You guys can tell me what that means. In order to enable the completion of services in an efficient and timely manner, the enlisted will be entrusted with the command of a Class 6 Super Destroyer Series crewed interplanetary combat vessel, hereby referred to as the Super Destroyer. Upon termination of the contract, the enlisted command of the Super Destroyer will be transferred to the next eligible enlisted in order designated by the serving shipmaster, the enlister, or the authorized command structure. Accredited representatives of the parties in clauses 1.3i to 1.3113, the heirs, successors, and assigns of the enlisted have no right, claim, or interest in the ownership or command of the super destroyer. Should the actions of the enlisted result in the loss, damages, or impediments of the super destroyer, requiring ameliorative or restorative action, the cost of such repair shall be subcontracted from the martyrdom payment due to the heirs and successors of the enlisted. Martyrdom payment. Martyrdom payment. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. The enlisted shall be responsible for purchasing, maintenance, replacement, improvement of equipment used for the provision of services. If the contract of the enlisted is terminated due to the conditions outlined in clause 5.1, absence of pulse, you mean death? The equipment purchased, maintained, and replaced by the enlisted shall stay with the destroyer and shall be made available to the next Helldiver to command the vessel. So you're not entitled to a will. All your shit is going to the next Helldiver. Okay, it's a little different there. Remuneration. So there's no probate in Super Earth. So remuneration is payment. As performance for the services, the Helldiver shall receive monetary compensation for the services rendered. The payment shall be in line with the services rendered. The enlister reserves the right at any time without prior notice to make amendments to the schedule of payments. That means they cannot pay you. So Super Earth can decide to not pay you. The enlister acknowledges the position of enlisted Helldiver is a classified Super Earth Ministry of Employment as a exceptionally patriotic duty. Accordingly, upon commencement of delivery of services, the immediate family members of the enlisted, defined as parents, siblings, heirs, and successors, shall receive 4.5 citizenship points to be allocated to the recipient's discretion. This compensation shall be non-transferable and shall be not exchanged for cash equivalent. Nice citizenship points. Okay, that's something, I guess. In the addition of non-continuation of the alive status, so meaning they die. The enlisted, in the course of the rendition of services, a martyrdom payment shall be made to the immediate family members of the enlisted, minus any dispensations outlined in 1.3. Confidentiality. In the course of the rendition of services, the enlisted is likely to become exposed to information strategic appointments, not including but not limited to maps, mission briefings, internal procedure, details of products, prices, and seasonal discounts. The enlisted agree that all privileged information, collectively classified materials, viewed by the enlisted shall be maintained in the strictest secrecy by the enlisted, with all reasonable efforts made to avoid the transfer, leakage, dissemination, publication, conveyance, and or seepage. Seepage is not a normal legal term. Just going to say, I normally don't see seepage very much as a legal term. Of classified material and shall be provided in formats traced to the enlisted in the event of transfer, leakage, dissemination, publication, conveyance, and or seepage. The enlisted agrees to return any and all data, documents, directories, manuals, maps pertaining as classified to the enlister. Any information made to the enlisted outside of operational parameters, which is not considered customarily known to the general citizenry or was not known to the enlisted prior to the commencement, shall be known as controlled classified materials. For access to controlled classified materials, explicit advance written consent must be obtained by the enlisted. To read about the terms and conditions in full, should there be a breach, read clause 3.2. Indemnification. That means you're promising to cover the other. So the enlisted shall be solely responsible for all damages, harms, liability, costs, expenses, craters, atrocities, crimes, civil, uncivil, war, caused, created, and generated during the course and rendition of services. The enlisted hereby indemnifies the enlister in the authorized command structure, including but not limited to any employees, representatives, heirs, successors, and assigns against all challenges, costs, losses, damages, and expenses without limitation arising related to in any way the renditions of services by enlisted. Typically, you can't indemnify for war, but here's a first. This is a first in the Helldiver contract. Any damage sustained by the enlisted, whether reputational or corporeal, including but not limited to incineration, evisceration, spinal separation, vaporization, crushing, freezing, burning, decapitation, paper cuts, explosion, contusion, removal of arms and limbs, addition of arms and limbs. Wait, what? What? Helldivers are Are the bugs rat? Okay. Anyways, dizziness, nausea, shortness of breath, or death shall not be considered the responsibility of the enlister. The enlisted shall not hold the enlister in whole or in part responsible for what they return in whole or in part. Wait, what? Whether they return in whole or in part. Oh my God. So even if they come back in pieces, they're not responsible. Termination. The agreement will be governed by the laws of Super Earth. No dirty automaton law here, guys. Shall be terminated in the event that the enlisted is mortally wounded and that medical attention shall not be financially or physically justifiable. The enlisted engages in seditious, dangerous, or traitorous thoughts, opinions, actions, or sentiments. The enlister, and so that is Super Earth, for any reason can terminate this contract. Notice of cause for termination not required. The provisions of sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shall survive termination. See, this is how you do. How is it that the Helldiver meme contract can write a survival clause better than Niji Sanji? The Helldiver meme contract wrote a better real survival clause than Niji Sanji for Super Earth. General provisions. The enlisted consents to the personal information, including but not limited to biometric, patriotic, and demographic data to be collected and processed by the enlister, the authorized command structure, and appropriate agents of Super Earth and Democratic Council. The enlisted consents to personal samples. Wait, what? Okay, so there's no personal health information in Super Earth. Not including but not limited to flesh, bone, and blood to be collected by the enlister, the command structure, and agents of Super Earth and the Democratic Council. The enlisted provides unequivocal and irrevocable consent to the use of experimental weapons, technologies, and narcotics. Narcotics are supposed to be illegal. The definition of narcotic would be an illegal substance, right? So yeah, the contract shall be binding upon being read in whole or in part. This is totally not legal in modern America, but Kuro Super Earth gonna Kuro Super Earth. For purpose of the elimination of doubt, the enlisted spending 1 second within 15 meters of a copy of the contract shall be interpreted as the contract being read. I love that last term. Standing for 1 second within 15 meters of the contract means you read it. Congratulations. You're up there with Niji Sanji in black contracts.